I recently went hands-on with both the Thor level showcased in the recent Marvel's Avengers War Table presentation and the preceding level focused on Ms. Marvel Kamala Khan. I've got a much better sense of how developer Crystal Dynamics' hero customization can be applied to playing, what an actual level and more free-form combat scenario might look like, and, most excitedly, an itch to keep playing and experimenting with different hero builds. My time with Marvel's Avengers focused on two back-to-back single-hero campaign levels, which flowed right into one another. I played as Kamala first, making my way around a helicarrier mid-destruction, in which I dealt with larger mechanical foes alongside Iron Man and Hulk. Before both levels, I dove into Marvel's Avengers' secret weapon, its many skill trees and gear options, while feeling like I've only just scratched the surface of its hero customization. As has become relatively standard for action games, particularly superhero ones, each hero in Marvel's Avengers has a light attack, heavy attack, and dodge. But playing as Kamala and Thor offered two quite different combat experiences, as did playing with different builds of each. Kamala fighting in closer quarters than Thor does in his level required me to constantly be moving for fear of having enemies surround and corner me. Kamala's extendable limbs are certainly gangly and offered a more improvisational tone to her combat scenarios that felt befitting of the character. She's still learning the ropes, and those ropes are sometimes literally her own arms, but I was frequently surprised and delighted by Kamala's moveset. Thor is appreciably reminiscent of how Kratos handles in the new God of War, but obvious Kratos parallels aside, Thor's combat also clearly takes inspiration from his comic and film appearances, and I found him most fun to play as soon as I figured out how to use his fists and Mjolnir in tandem to deal with swarms of enemies. It also doesn't hurt that I could more easily get away from any skirmish given that he can hover and fly out of battle. Every hero will have a base set of skills related to their various attacks, and as players find what works for them with each classic Marvel icon, they can begin to hone in on those focuses. At the deepest level is the Mastery skill tree level, which allows you to unlock abilities and then choose from one of 3 different variations to have equipped at any one time. While this will certainly come into play more when playing co-op, I still loved messing around with these options during my multiple playthroughs of Thor's level. One ranged mastery ability, for example, let Thor's hammer throw shoot out an AoE bit of lightning once it impacted a surface, or allowed me to manually target enemies as I spun it around and prepped a shot. One's obviously better for picking off single enemies, while the other can be more for crowd control. I could even imbue more lightning in his melee attacks once I threw the hammer, leading to that Immigrant Song Thor Ragnarok experience. Combat depth became a lot more apparent to me as I tried out different abilities between runs, focused on fine-tuning my hero builds, and really testing out what these specializations can do. It's a testament to Crystal Dynamics' work, at least in these levels, that I never felt at a loss with my abilities focused one way or the other. One of my biggest takeaways from the two was that playing as these separate heroes felt different, but both were still fun to play in their own right, and had me eager to spend more time with them. That's obviously going to be key for a live service game meant to keep bringing players back. There's so many more heroes, skills, gear, and levels to see, which will ultimately determine if everything Crystal Dynamics is putting together remains successful in the long run. But like Kamala often feels about seeing her heroes in action, this hands-on with Marvel's Avengers certainly filled me with hope for the future. For more, be sure to check out the full War Table presentation, and stay tuned all throughout July for more coverage from our IGN First on Marvel's Avengers. And for more on Marvel, you're already in the right place. Jonathon's backyard as a kid where he used to dress up as Spider-Man and pretend to swing webs and swing around, but he was really just on the ground the whole time. I mean IGN. You're at IGN.